In this tutorial, I want to explain about basic concepts of OOPs. Here, we will learn about what is object, what is class, and a brief discussion about encapsulation, data abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Here, OOP means object-oriented programming. In the first tutorial, I have said that Java is an object-oriented programming language. What is object-oriented programming? So, if we develop any web application or any software based on object and classes, so then it is called as object-oriented programming. What is object? What is class? Now let us discuss now. Object. An entity that exists physically in the real world which requires some memory will be called as object. That means the things which we see with our naked eye are said to be as object. Means car which we see, chair or pen, even a blanket, chart, pencil, eraser, sharpener. All these comes under object because these all are we can observe with our naked eye. Every object will contains some properties and actions. Properties means it is data or information which describes about the object. For example, if we take car example, so to describe car, we can describe car like it is in white color. So the car is in white color, the car is in black color, or the car is in grey color, like that. So we are describing the car by color, or we can describe by company. It is in some X company, it is of some Y company, like that. So we are describing car. Actions are the tasks or the operations performed by the objects. For example, if you take the same example, car, so the action of the car is riding the car, or we can open the door of the car, we can close the door of the car, etc. All actions regarding to the object comes under actions. Class is a group of objects. Class is a collection of common properties and common actions of a group of objects. As we know that object contains some properties and some actions. In the same way, class means it is a collection or a group of properties or group of actions. A class is considered as a plan or a model or a blueprint for creating an object. For example, if we want to construct a building. So if we want to construct a building, we should have plan of construction. So how much room, how many rooms we have to construct, or at which side we have to construct. So all we have some plan. Without planning, we cannot construct. So a class is nothing but it is like a plan or blueprint for creating any object. So as we know that without blueprint we cannot construct a building. In the same way, without class, object creation is also not possible. To create an object, compulsory class is needed. If we consider this example, if we consider fruit as a class, then the statement fruit mango star creates an object called as mango. Here we can observe from the class we are creating the object. Now we are going to discuss about encapsulation. Encapsulation also called as data hiding. So it is a process of binding the variables and methods into a single entity. If we take capsule tablet as an example, so in this tablet we can observe some more rounds of tablets in it. That means all those inside tablets are covered in outer side entity. So it is called encapsulation, means the process of binding the variables and methods into a single entity. This is called as encapsulation. Using encapsulation, the main use is to improve the maintenance of the application. It keeps the data and code safer from external interface. The whole idea behind encapsulation is to hide the implementation details from users. So hiding implementation details from user, so it is also called as data hiding. So if you take an example, power steering of a car. Actually, power steering of a car is a very complex system. It has many components, that too they are very complicated components in it. The main role of these components is these components work together to turn a car in a desired direction. In the external world, what we observe is we observe that the car moves in left direction or the car moves in right direction. But we actually don't know what happens internally in the inside the components of that steering engine. That means for the outside world, only interface is available. And the rest of complexity, what happens inside it, is hidden. We don't know what happens inside it. So power steering of a car is one example of encapsulation. Abstraction is one of the most important concept of OOP. It is a process where you show only relevant data and hide unnecessary details of an object from the user. For example, if we take Amazon, so when you log in your Amazon account, it displays that to enter login ID. We will enter login ID. Then it asks to write the password. Then we will write the password. After entering Gmail and password, we will get the option login. So if we click this option, then we will log into our Amazon account. So here we don't know how the input data sent to Amazon server or how it gets verified is all abstracted from us. We don't know about all those things. Means unnecessary details of an object are hidden. Only the necessary statements are displayed and the unnecessary things are not displayed. This is called as abstraction. For abstraction, if you take another example, car. So car is an object. So in car we also have subsystems like gearing system, engine, steering system, all these we have. But for the outside we only see the car as the main object. All the subsystems also have suppose for example engine. If you take engine also has some parts, some internal parts. If you take gearing system, it also has some internal parts in it. So all those internal parts are hidden for us, but only the main object is available to us. This is called as abstraction. Coming to inheritance, it is a mechanism by which an object acquires the some or all properties of another object. It supports the concepts of hierarchical classification. For example, as we know that car is a four-wheeler vehicle. So assume that we have a class that is four-wheeler and we have a subclass that is car. Here car acquires the properties of a class four-wheeler. Car acquires the properties of a class four-wheeler. It may also have other classifications like Jeep, Tempo, Van. All these are four-wheelers only. Four-wheeler defines, what is four-wheeler means? It defines a class of four wheels that have four wheels and specifies range of engine, power, load carrying capacity, etc. It also have those properties also. But here car is a subclass. We have already discussed that. It acquires the properties of four-wheeler. same properties of four-wheeler, means that has four wheels, and also have some specific properties which are different from other classifications of four-wheelers, means other than four-wheeler it should have some extra characters like compared to a jeep or any other thing, car has luxury, comfort, shape, size, usage, etc. That means subclass has all the properties of class and also some other specific properties. Now let us discuss about polymorphism. So polymorphism means to process objects differently based on the data type. It also means one method with multiple implementation. For a certain class of action and which implementation to be used is decided at runtime depending upon the situation, that is data type of an object. This can be implemented by designing a generic interface which provides generic methods for a certain class of action, and there can be multiple classes which provides the implementation of these generic methods. So after observing the example, you can understand what it means. For example, if you take a gear transmission system in car, a car has a gear transmission system. A gear transmission system has four front gears and one back gear. When the engine is accelerated or when the engine is moved, then depending upon which gear is engaged, different amount of power and movement is delivered to the car. Means if front gear is engaged, then different amount of power is delivered. If back gear is engaged, then different amount of power is delivered. It depends upon the type of gear is engaged. Here the action is same applying the gear, but based on the type of gear the action behaves differently, or you can say that it shows many forms. That's why we called as polymorphism as many forms. Here polymorphism could be both static and dynamic. Static means it is a method overloading and dynamic means it is a method overriding. So these are the concepts which I am not discussing here. So they will be discussed in further tutorials. Thank you for watching my tutorials.